investor. Today doesn't seem to be the best day so far, but who knows? Maybe that might change with AMD reporting earnings. Like always, my name's Jose Najarro. I do these 1 hour live streams of just pure Q&A, right? This is what I talk about what you want to talk about. My overall goal is to try to answer as many Q&As as possible. Again, if you want the best answers, I'm like an AI prompt, right? If you want the best answers, you got to ask the right questions. I know the AI and semiconductor industry. If you want questions in other markets, I'm probably going to hallucinate and either say I don't know or just give some just top level story in it. So first, hopefully everybody's doing good. Nvidia down roughly 2.5% on the day. There's been that OpenAI and Nvidia drama. I just think there's a lot of drama for no reason. Broadcom is down about 3.3%. We do have Micron down also 2% after ripping it. I mean, I don't think you're mad as a Micron shareholder just yet. Qualcomm down 3.6%. And a lot of the Microsoft at 413, I'm not going to lie, this one is looking even more attractive. I did buy a nice amount around 420s, 430s. I am going to probably buy, if we get closer to the 400s, I'll buy even more. I'm already happy with the position that I bought. And then software space. Service now roughly 7% down. Adobe, are these true? What's going on? Is AI eating the world again? Adobe down 5.4%. Microsoft really, that's insane. All right, let's get to the chat. Let's get to some questions. Let's say good. Sean says good morning. Good morning, Sean. Stoked to hear about AMD earnings. Against all odds, my portfolio is 100% AMD and it's been doing great things. First, Sean, I don't know how you're able to do that, right? I mean, I can get being extremely bullish in the company, but I don't know. I never, I don't think I have what the cojones, as they say, to be able to do a 100% portfolio. Morning from Barcelona. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yo, can't wait for earnings. I'm actually very excited for earnings. Again, I'm excited for earnings, but I'm also preparing myself, right? It's just I don't think every earnings continues to amaze me in forms of a long-term investment, right? It gives me a bullish thesis, but the short-term price action after earnings haven't always been that exciting for me, right? Sometimes you actually see down. What I think is highly possible is today AMD comes out. Earnings are going to be meh in what guidance we actually get, even though the long-term thesis is still pretty bullish. Short term, market might not like it. Prices go down, but the next few hours will be filled with analyst upgrades, and those analyst upgrades will hopefully produce a revenue growth, stock price growth, the upcoming days, right? So if I had a theory, that's what my theory is going to be for AMD. So we do have a lot of excitement here for AMD earnings. What do we have here? Or excitement for earnings. Everyone wins today. I hope so, right? It seems like people are winning. Nvidia is down. Broadcom is down. Microsoft is down. The only one down, the only one up in this one is your favorite semiconductor stock, Intel. Good morning from China. Good morning from China. AMD a buy. I mean, Johnny Ponzi. It's I mean, I'm bullish long term, right? I feel like when people ask this the day before earnings, it's just so they can get an answer. And if someone says yes, buy, it's like, and the stock goes down after earnings, is come on, why did you tell me to buy? It was a horrible move. Short term, I'm always bearish. Always. Short term, I'm always bearish in my stocks. That means that I'm always prepared for stock prices to go down. Long term, I'm extremely, extremely bullish. And that mentality helps me sleep at night, right? Short term, I'm always prepared for the worst. Long term, I expect the companies that I own to be really strong. And the reason for short term is there's always so much news, right? I mean, there's drama with OpenAI and Nvidia, right? There's drama with the AI market. There's drama with CapEx. There's drama internationally. All this drama. There's drama with some disease being found in some part of the world. There's always drama. There's drama with policy changes. There's drama with interest rates. Short term, there's so much drama that drama can create a lot of wild movements. But long term, I think the thesis ends up playing right. So good morning from the big slow. Where do you see AMD opening tomorrow? I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping 250 plus, but I'm expecting maybe 230s. I don't know. I'm a little bit all over. Definitely a different price than it closes. Yo, 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 what's going on? Q Dark Green. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Josh. AMD today. I know Shay is excited. I think he owns. I think it might also be 100% portfolio here on on um on what you call it. So just wanted to see some stuff here. Um, Something else. I posted this today. I don't want to talk about PayPal. This is the last time I'm talking about PayPal today. I see some questions, but I just see people woke up being mean to PayPal shareholders. The stock I saw was down. Just stop it already. All right. Those shareholders have enough pain today. No need to put salt. What do they salt? Salt in an open wound or whatever. Um, so no PayPal. PayPal. Um, the big slow, right? I don't know what's the Broadcom has been kind of slowly pulling back. I think it could just be a valuation thing as well, right? Let's just look at fiscal.ai. And if you want great charts, guys, check out fiscal.ai. I was just doing a deep dive in my community at What the Chip Happened. We were doing a deep dive on Data and Clack Corporation, which Clack Corporation reported earnings last week. And Data was a company that one of the subscribers or community members wanted to learn more about. So we did a lot of data-driven live streams before this. So make sure to check out the What the Chip Happened community. But look, forward PE ratio, I think it's just a little bit of returning back to somewhat of a norm. I mean, when you have a company like Nvidia trading at a PE ratio of like 27, 26, and this was trading in the closer 45 levels and 40 levels, I think I think right now you're just maybe resetting valuations a little bit. I don't think there's anything negative impacting the long term. There's a lot of bullish takes, in my opinion, for Broadcom, even though I wouldn't own. Um, why is SaaS down so much like Adobe? I don't know, right? That did catch me off guard. We have ServiceNow, right? We have ServiceNow down. Nope, not Nasdaq. Service Now stock. ServiceNow was down 7%. You have Salesforce. What is the sell-off happening here? Does anybody know any reason? I mean, let's look at calendar really quick. I want to look at the calendar. I don't think even any of them reported anything, didn't have any massive event today. Now, Nvidia did have a co-package silicon photonics keynote today. I'm going to listen to that in a bit. NXP reported earnings, Teradyne reported earnings, and Galaxy reported earnings. I wonder how Teradyne's doing. Teradyne is up 14%. So we do have some green in the semiconductor market. Galaxy is down roughly 12%. This is one of the, it's kind of like a PowerShell company. Obviously a Bitcoin mining as well, but they do produce a nice amount of projects, I think, for Coreweave, right? This was a stock that was elevated previously, right? Let's in the 40s in October, down nearly 50%, 45% at the moment. I might have to look into this one a little bit more. I don't normally focus in PowerShell, but it seems like this one is getting not as much love as it used to. So Galaxy did report earnings. What else reported earnings today? Big tech is going to be at a Cisco AI Summit. We have Intel, we have Microsoft, we have Amazon. I think Google is also going to be there. We have AMD earnings, Lumentum earnings. Light is also today. Supermicro is reporting earnings. Alphabet and Nvidia are both at AI Summit. So a lot of great information we'll be getting, but I don't know what's pushing this negative reaction here on the overall market for SaaS? Is it more AI eating the space? Is it something with PayPal? Because I know I didn't want to bring it up, but could PayPal be creating? I wouldn't expect it. PayPal wouldn't be creating negativeness to software stocks. Completely different market. So I don't know what's happening with ServiceNow, but there's more and more of a sell-off. I'm curious to see if anybody is buying during the sell-off, right? I mean, if you've been a ServiceNow investor for the past 5 years, you've pretty much down. It's unless you sold at the top, but it there's definitely opportunities in certain names, I would say. There's no way a company is this. It's the same place where it was 5 years ago, and the company hasn't changed, right? So, some things to go there. Let's go back to questions. I deviated with that one a little bit. NVA DCA time. I think so. I think so, P. I've actually been thinking for me, I own already too much shares in Nvidia that for me now, from now on, maybe I might just do some form of option spreads on the bullish side, just because I won't have to use as much equity. And I would still have some potential upside, but that's because I already own a lot of shares. I'm maybe thinking of how I might diversify it outside of shares from Nvidia. I'm not selling any of them, but just to increase exposure. 100, I think so. I mean, let's look at. There's so much drama going with Nvidia that I think it's just drama. There's not drama that tabloids are doing because it gets good clicks. But if you look at forward PE ratios, and I know maybe other people like other metrics, regardless, I like looking more at the average to compare a historical. The median for the past 10 years, this is even pre AI, um, was 32.76. Right now is 25. If I didn't have NVIDIA, I wouldn't mind buying a lot right now. Obviously, understanding that this stock can be quiet for a few, but the demand for AI, I think, is wild. Um, are you going to buy Broadcom? No, happy me fly. The main reason is, if I was to buy more Broadcom, I would say, why would I want to buy Broadcom when I could just buy more Nvidia, right? I talked about it in the past, even though they're independent players or individual stocks, I think they will mirror, at least in the foreseeable future, returns. And the one I feel more comfortable would be Nvidia for me. Terrible day in the market. It's only terrible if you make it, right? If not, it's actually just change your colors in your computer. Anything that's red should be green, and anything that's green should be red. That's crazy. Sean, no worries. At one point, AMD was 345%. That's crazy, Shay. That's a lot and a lot of exposure and margin. It worked out. It worked out, but it doesn't always. Pain Pal, what's going on, Seth? Blake, I'm expecting good earnings, but the stock to go down. With AMD, I think so. I think that's usually the thing. Teradyne, I know they are in the robotics space. Is the next rip, folks. Test the measurements and robots to do great that did great earnings yesterday. The big slow, right? I'm curious also of Teradyne. I'm just curious of what they're if they're trading at elevated levels. That's the only thing, at least with a lot of these equipment players, is they are trading at elevated levels. You don't like to get into equipment players when the excitement is there. You like to get into them when the excitement is not there. And I think Teradyne gave a lot of opportunities in the past. We've definitely done a few videos when the stock has crashed post earnings. Um, Especially last year, we saw a nice amount of these pullbacks here. But look, since then, massive rip. That is wild. 281% to anyone who bought that bottom. Um, that's wild. 309. Congratulations. That is a massive, massive turnaround story, right? What's your top 5 positions in order? If I could say number one, Nvidia, number two, Coreweave, number three, AMD, number four, I think it's Google right now, if you don't count an ETF. If you don't count ETFs, it would be Google. Maybe. Let's see. Let me just open up so I can give you the top five. It's going to be some max 7. If you don't count ETFs, it's going to be some max 7. Or yeah, I think it's Google. Because it did see that nice run up. All positions. Yeah. This doesn't give it to me. Yeah, Google would be there. And then it seems like it might be the other one. Meta? Is it Meta? It's one of the, for some reason this is not giving me the right one. But Google, and then it would be another Meta. Maybe Meta. It would be another Max 7. So those would be my top 5 right now. Let's see, what else do we have? What else do we have? What other questions? Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free. Is SaaS down? I don't know, right? I think it could be, right? I don't know why SaaS is down. Palantir is a hot topic right now. Do you think it's too late to get on that train? Sean, I don't know this one. I haven't listened to their earnings call. I mean, the market was excited. I think they saw massive growth overall. I think Amit is obviously the better player to go and listen to there for Palantir. Um, I think the biggest bearish case that I always hear for Palantir is the only one I hear is the valuation, right? Um, if that's the biggest bearish case and there isn't another one, that's a unique company, for sure, right? Because for Nvidia, I mean, for Nvidia, even prior to the AI, one of the biggest things was it was always expensive, but they were always innovating even prior to AI. I personally wouldn't be buying though. Again, I focus mainly in the semiconductor space. AMPX about to pop. I'm not sure why, but that sounds like a damn scam to me. It sounds like one of those crypto scams I keep hearing, but it might not be the big slow, right? It might not be. I'm just saying. Good morning, Jose. Why are there so much hate on CoreWeave, and are you confident holding in long term? As much, I'm extremely confident holding CoreWeave, right? And let me just say, I'm confident because of the research, but I'm not a business and investment. No matter how confident you also have the opportunity. You could be wrong, right? It's not. I'm not confident that I'm 100% right, but I believe that the bearish data points that I'm seeing right now are over exaggerated. I also believe the reason they seem over exaggerated is because the analysts and the companies, the people that just talk about this market, don't have don't expect AI to continue to grow at the levels we're seeing, even though all management is saying differently, right? So I'm confident in CoreWeave and AI infrastructure because let me tell you why I'm confident. TSM reported AI compounded annual growth rate of around 50% for the next 5 years. Meta announced that they're increasing capex and they are still compute constrained, and they're increasing capex by nearly 100% in 1 year after already increasing it nearly 100% this past year. I am confident because Microsoft says they are compute constrained. I am confident because OpenAI is looking to raise about $100 billion. I am confident because Oracle is investing in AI infrastructure. I'm confident because Nvidia is having massive partnerships and meetings with all these supply players because they have so much demand that they want to make sure that these players are also winning with them. So because of that data, I don't get scared that some person is calling a short on the GPU. I don't care because some media is calling some scare in the AI bubble or the AI market. I'm looking at the data that I'm seeing with numbers. Um, and that tells me that their companies like CoreWeave can benefit dramatically. Um, but again, I understand the bearish thesis, right? I do. I just believe the growth outweighs them. Maybe for other investors, and that's what every investment is, right? Every investment is a fundamental of understanding the bullish thesis and the bearish thesis. And once you understand both, it's deciding which one outweighs the other, right? Obviously, if there's a lot of risk, there has to be a lot of growth opportunities, and those are create a m- multi-bagger opportunity. If there's a lot less risk and a lot more certainty, then yes, that's a safer investment, but the growth opportunities is different. So understanding not just I think a more investment is the first. Is first understanding the bullish and bearish take, picking a side and outweighing it. I use it by data, right? Determining what side I like because of the data that I read. But then the second thing is understanding that is this more riskier than some other trades? And if it is there a probability of failure? Is the probability of failure higher? The answer is yes, but there's the no risk free lunch theorem. The no free risk free lunch theorem. Is that it? Where if the risk is high, then the reward is high. If the risk is low, then the reward is also low. Um, so those are just my thoughts. Those are just how I think about investing. And I guess for everybody, it's different, right? For me, it's a probability game. Uh, SoFi, if we don't talk about PayPal, we don't talk about SoFi. But I don't know. Is PayPal dragging SoFi down? Nah, not as much. It's dragging it, but it was being dragged before, so it might be selfish to say PayPal is dragging it, right? It might just be dragging on its own. Um, Let's see what other questions. And again, guys, come in with all those questions. I am starting to scroll up a nice amount. So soon I'll just start doing from the bottom. I'm not sure why SaaS down, but to sell off companies that are benefiting from AI is crazy. I agree, right? I think AI is benefiting a lot of this. I think the market perspective is extremely, extremely scary. What are good long-term stocks to buy? For me, Juan Montes, if I could say, I would just say the Max Sevens are, in my opinion, really good. A semiconductor ETF, uh, and some of the semiconductor names that I go about, right? I think Max Sevens, it's boring, but I think there's a lot of opportunity. Nvidia under 180 is crazy balance. Let's say it twice so the people in the back can hear you or something like that. City upgraded price target for Palantir to 260. Wow, that is pretty insane. PayPal, ha ha ha. We don't curse around here. We might do. I might do it from time to time, but for some reason, reading it and knowing I'm about to do it, I don't want to do it. Chairman of Palantir has previously connections with PayPal, I think. So you think PayPal is going to buy Palantir's buying PayPal, Sean? What are you saying here? What conspiracy are we hitting? PayPal, is 2026 going to be good for semiconductors? Really frustrated seeing Nvidia and Broadcom positions get pounded. Ryan, I think so. I mean, I'm bullish in the AI in this AI semiconductor market, but I think that's why it's also important to. Many people ask Jose, do you diversify out of tech? No, but I diversify out of businesses, right? I am bullish in semiconductors, but I also have cloud server providers, which might be seeing a different type of push. I'm also excited in different types of semiconductor plays, equipment plays, and the list goes on and on. So, sure, you might have. And the other thing is, patience is okay, right? I don't mind if for the next, if I'm going to be a broken record here. If for the next month, if for the next 11 months until November, Nvidia is still at $190, and then in December is when it jumps to like 240, 250, that's okay with me, right? Because to me, I understand that bullish term. So even if the stock for the next 11 months is quiet, and then the 12th month it decides to wake up and rally, I would feel like I did the smartest move by just not doing anything and sitting and being patient, as long as that long-term thesis is still intact. And I think for a lot of players, that's the case. So even if it's quiet for the next 11 years, not 11 years, well, that not Nvidia, don't take that. I mean, for the next 11 months, at least on 12 months, I would be, I would be a okay. Thanks, Jose on Broadcom. Added to Synopsys. That's actually a good one, right? The semiconductor software market has been really good. This is one of the few markets. It seems so. All software is getting down. It's been attacked today, huh? All software. Even if there was one software I wouldn't mind buying, it would be kind of like the engineering ones, because they're definitely benefiting a lot from AI, a lot and a lot from AI. Synopsis and Cadence. These are interesting. Thank you for bringing it up. I did not know this one dropped so low. So low. Synopsis and Cadence. They've just gone up in the watch list, 100%. Um, I just got to remember that. So Sadaf, thank you for bringing those up to me. Let's see what other questions we have. And good morning. How's everybody doing? Let me know, where are you guys watching from. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate you guys coming in. It's a quick 1 hour of Q&A sessions. If you want more, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I do videos almost every night. And if you want AI semiconductor deep dives, check out the community. But let me know. Let me know something about you, right? Where are you from? What's something to keep the overall chain going? But maybe, all right, so let's go. I'm Lon Broadcom. In the streets, a lot of people are. What do you think of SoundHound in the long term, in the long run? The only thing, Nick Palladino, the only thing I would say with SoundHound is there's a lot of growth happening in AI voice. And with AI voice accelerating so quickly, maybe right now the moat is intact for SoundHound. I don't know it. But I think with AI voice developing at crazy levels, does that moat get shorter? Right? It's kind of like that same bearish thesis that investors have for Adobe. But I think for voice it's a little bit different, right? I do think for voice, it's at least for where we're at right now. I think for voice, that is definitely a bearish thesis. But we have people from Mars Colony appreciate it. Man, I wonder how Starlink has to be doing some crazy things there, Vlad. We hear from Miami, from Central Texas, from Malaysia. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. What are your thoughts on TSMC and its valuation nowadays? Still bullish TSM, right? Because if I'm not bullish TSM, how can I be bullish in the semiconductor market? In valuations, I would, like I've talked about it in the past, nothing against TSMC. It can definitely outperform. It outperformed Nvidia and then the semiconductor market this past year. I still would rather buy a semiconductor ETF than buy TSM. I mean, it's just eventually this becomes such a big player. I don't. Google is breaking on me, so short Google. Um, Bullish TSM, I personally wouldn't own. I would rather just own a semiconductor ETF, even though last year it completely outperformed it. But I think in the long term of things, that trend of usually performing similar to the market will continue. We have people from China, we have from Toronto, we have from more from Malaysia, we have from Washington, we have from France. Wow, that's pretty cool. From Europe, uh, Australia, WA Australia, nice, nice, nice. Belgium. Wow, Canada. It's pretty cool. Watching from Brazil? What are your thoughts on Credo going down lately, especially today? I mean, let's talk about Credo. I don't own it in my portfolio. I do think the networking side has some advantage with Credo. One of the things is they do focus a lot on AECs, active electrical cables. They made that recent acquisition to focus on ALDs, I think is what they called it, active light or active light laser cables, to kind of transfer out of the electric cables. But there's other competitors coming into the space. I really am in Marvell, and I think Marvell is also entering into the AEC space. Um, so there's some competition here. There's a lot of growth though. I did do, let's go here. I did on my overall platform, we did Credo technology um, deep dive. So again, yeah, they focus on kind of like the active electricals, the integrated circuits, and SerDes. And I mean, there's growth potential behind it. I don't own it, right? Their opticals DSPs are definitely one of the things that they're using for their AECs and stuff like that. But with with data centers and more servers being connected, right? We're seeing these 100,000 GPUs, eventually 1 million GPUs. There's the excitement here. But I decided to focus elsewhere. I think in the networking space, there's other ways you can play it. I decided to play with Astera Labs right now. I'm playing with Marvell technology, but with the recent pull down now, its valuation has definitely compressed a lot. So valuations are definitely looking a lot more attractive here for Credo. We got people from Germany. Germany, appreciate. Got any thoughts in actually investing in the construction companies building the data center? Noob, random number generator. Jesus, random number generator. ISIS? I don't get. I'm trying to get the name. Noob random number generator. Jeez, I don't know. Gene, Gen. Okay. Opposed to it. I wouldn't, right? I personally wouldn't. I don't really focus in the construction space. So at the end of the day, it's a construction business, unless it's a very small player, right? If it was something, if I wanted to focus in construction companies building data centers, I would rather focus on like those super small micro caps, small cap companies that can really see a revenue growth from stuff like this. Your big construction companies, they're already massive. So even kind of getting a project like this, it wouldn't be like a massive grower on the year over year growth on the top line or bottom line number. So if I was to look at construction companies, Noob, it would be on someone that can actually see massive benefits on both the top and bottom line due to this market. Microsoft versus Gaps. Microsoft versus Amazon here, Jose. You buying some today? I don't think I'm buying some today. Um, if I had to pick one at these levels, Microsoft all day, all day. I think Microsoft is screaming the market is stupid. That's what it's screaming to me. That's what Microsoft is saying 100 times over. The market is stupid. Say it with me. That's what Microsoft is saying. The Microsoft is saying the market is stupid. So I would put Microsoft. I mean, Amazon at 1/3. What's Amazon at? 237. I don't think it's bad. I like Amazon like the 215s. We did see 215s just recently, right? Or the low 220s. Yeah, we did see 215s recently. Um, the low 225s, I like Amazon. I like Microsoft a lot more right now. Um, let's see what other questions we have. And I can't get to the bottom of top of the questions, guys. So if you haven't, if I haven't answered your question, feel free to repost them because I can't go up. It's hard for me to, for some reason, it broke on me. Um, and I want to answer. Is it time for Jose to do? Is it time for Nvidia to do some big buybacks? Also, other than supporting the revolution, how will Nvidia benefit from their direct investments? Do we, as Nvidia owners, have rights to others? I mean, as Nvidia investors, you already are a shareholder of CoreWeave. You are a shareholder of Intel. You get as a Nvidia investor if they invest in the overall ecosystem. Um, you you get them in the balance sheet, right? If that valuation goes up, you benefit it as an Nvidia investor, right? If they invest $10 billion in a company and that valuation goes to $100 billion, their asset increases by that much money, right? So you get benefits from their direct investments, right? I don't know if you don't get any rights from them, right? You know, it's not like you will have individual shares, but the value on their balance sheet would represent valuations on your balance sheet as well. Are memory stocks overvalued? Yes and no, Dixon. This is an interesting way to look about it. I mean, everybody is talking about how crazy the memory market is. I mean, you're sold out for 2026. You're already talking about 2027. You're making procurements for 2028. I'm never a fan of charts like this, right? It's very rare. I mean, Nvidia, it's very rare, but it's not impossible, right? Because Nvidia at one point looked like that, right? Nvidia looked like that from here to here. Um, the but then I would say the reason that I'm worried about memory companies being like an Nvidia is Nvidia has a moat. It has a strength. The competitors are not near. Can you say the same thing for the memory markets? Do they not have competitors? And if they do, how close are the competitors? I mean, to me, SK Hynix is doing really well. Micron is doing really well. And Samsung is entering the HBM4 market. So competitors are right there. For Nvidia, that wasn't the case. For companies that I theoretically have seen something like this, for it to stay like this, it's not a supply and demand issue. It's a competitor issue, right? If you have no competitors, then sure, you can continue to do this. I'm not saying the bubble, I'm not saying it's a bubble, and I'm not saying the stocks are going to go down tomorrow. We hear the shortage. We hear the shortage is going to last numerous quarters, numerous years. So stock prices can continue to go up. But like I talked about it, I look at things like risk to reward. I look at what are some of the risk and what are some of the growth. To me, for me, the risk outweighs the growth opportunities. Um, Nvidia's tentacles are everywhere. Lisa Su barely gives much of a guidance balance, right? So this is I think the second thing about AMD. AMD tends to really be conservative in the short term. I don't even think they've even broken down guidance for data center, right? Historically, they just give you a full guidance for the year, and they just tell you a few revenue growth potentials. Um, data centers expected to grow double digits or single digits sequentially, but that's as much as color as they give you. If AMD is going to continue with that same type of color that they do, I'm not that excited for after earnings results. I'm still excited long term, but I'm preparing for because Lisa Su is usually very conservative, and I'm not angry at that. That's a great way to run your management. That's a great way to be a leader. I mean, she did it really well with the server CPU side. Um, if she comes out with a completely different attitude and gives us actual guidance and actual numbers instead of tens of billions, I think the market can actually enjoy that. Um, but like I mentioned, still extremely, extremely bullish on this one. Yeah, I agree, right? So it's not impossible, right, Matt, to see kind of other companies do similar. But you have to, again, like I mentioned, it's different for you have to, is it just a supply constraint issue? It's not enough of a reason for me to run up a stock. But because supply constraint and then no competitors in sight, things start to look a little bit different. Focus on the facts. Yeah. Appreciate it. What's going on, Matt? Thanks to Save for your insights. No problem. Thank you guys for being here. Um, what would be your fundamentals to pick Microsoft or Amazon now? I watched Paper Gains yesterday and he was the opposite. That's why I'm curious. Not sure who Paper Gains is. Um, I mean, first of all, it would be I think it's just pure value. I think pure valuation play would be my goal with Microsoft. Microsoft, the market is punishing it, right? Is punishing it for not enough hyper growth, cloud growth. And the reason they didn't do enough cloud growth is because they're actually throttling their growth. They're giving it to first party. They have a lot of software opportunities where they're implementing AI. So they're creating long-term value on their first party solutions, which I think is extremely bullish. They have a great growth opportunity in the cloud space, and then they have great investments and partnerships with OpenAI and Anthropic. And then Amazon, I'm bullish in both, right? I am bullish in both, right? It's not like I'm negative on Amazon right now. I just in forms of the opportunity, I think Microsoft it has it. I mean, with Amazon, right? You have AWS, which is expected to grow like crazy. You have the advertisement market. You have the investment in Anthropic. Um, but you also have the e-commerce side, right? And the e-commerce side definitely could be a lot more volatile than the enterprise productivity side, if that makes sense. Right, like I mentioned, Amazon 225s is where I would be purchasing. That's only $12. That doesn't mean I'm huge bearish on Amazon. I just do think Microsoft is completely overextended. I think the market is punishing this one for no reason, for extremely, extremely no reason. And maybe that's another thing, right? I don't Paper Games. Okay, Asian Steve. Okay, yes. Okay, so I never knew him. Jason. Yeah, Jason. Okay, yes. But I think Jason does more technical analysis, right? Um, right. So yeah, I guess in Jason's eyes, right? Again, I don't follow technical analysis. And he does really good with it, but maybe I guess the technical screen that this can go lower and lower right now, or maybe it screams the opposite for Amazon. Um, Yes, yes, technical Tuesday. I don't know why I did not I Paper Gains didn't click, but yes, Jason. But again, right, different mentality as well, right? You have I do think Microsoft I'm very excited for Max 7s though, right? I'm very excited. I think both Max 7s are gonna do really well. Um, they all both have massive opportunities. I bought Amazon in you go back to this channel. I think we were buying Amazon in November. Right? Every other month, I think there's a different opportunities with Max 7. I mean, we talked about Google in summer, when Google was in the 140s, right? We That's how Google has become a big, massive position in my overall portfolio. These gains that happen from April, right? These 140s, 160s. Meta, we talked about Meta when this was in the 600s, right? I do think the market gives us random opportunities. I would say Amazon is an opportunity right now, but I think Microsoft has given us a bigger opportunity. And because I don't have infinite cash, I want to go to the bigger opportunity right now, and I'll rather load up on Microsoft. Yeah, so my apologies. It does seem. Um, what about Adobe stock? It seems insanely undervalued now. It does. It always does, and that's the thing, right? I think if you talked about Adobe a month ago, 2 months ago, 6 months ago, that same story would be said, right? It is completely undervalued. That's not. I think us and Adobe has opened up the SaaS market has definitely opened up my eyes into that market sentiment does matter and the market thesis does matter. My thesis could be correct, right? I don't own Adobe, but my thesis that AI is not going to eat up software, it could be correct. But the market, not believing that, continues to create that negative selling point. So for a long-term investment, you either have to be patient enough to say, I own this stock. I believe the bullish thesis is still there. I have to wait for the market sentiment to shift. That's what Adobe needs to wait for, that market sentiment to completely shift. Now, when does that happen, right? When does that happen? As AI gets better and better, their video generation is going to get better. Their photo generation is going to get better. So how can there be a switching point of market sentiment? And that's, I think, the scary part, right? I think that's the scary part with Adobe and software stocks. Even though the business can do extremely well, if the market sentiment doesn't change, and what can make it change, then the investments can be pretty crappy for a while. Yeah, and right. So you see a lot of players do it, right? I mean, have you checked on Neil? No, it's I don't want to text him because obviously I feel like if I text him, it might feel like, I don't know, like I'm poking at him. I'm pretty sure he's fine. He's done great investments. Um, I think he has iron. He did some micron and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure. Did he stream? Did he stream the live stream? Did he stream the earnings call? Was he okay? How did he seem? Um, Thoughts on Adobe stock today? Just like I mentioned, it's the stock is definitely cheap. The question is, when is the market sentiment? Meta's PE ratio is still cheaper than Microsoft. It is, it is. But then AR, another thing that changes is how much have I gotten into that position, right? Like we talked about Meta in the 600s, and that's where I bought. And I bought it. I've been one of my things this year is if I'm going in a company, I'm going heavy. So the thing is, once I go heavy, even if the forward PE ratio is there, it's like, all right, now my stock has gone up dramatically. Um, it's now about portfolio sizing. Let me look at another opportunity from there. Jose, um, next question here. Oh wait, I missed one. I missed one. Claire's. And guys, appreciate it. Appreciate the support, like always. These streams are getting better, right? I think when we started 2 weeks ago, we were getting like 100 people per stream. Now we're getting a little bit over 300. So appreciate it. This is awesome. Hey, Jose, thoughts on Oracle? I'm a new investor. Oracle. I mean, they just in wow, 155s. 155s. This one, no, wow. Oracle. I mean, this you have to be bullish in the AI cycle, in the AI infrastructure market, right? Because Oracle and a lot of these AI infrastructure players, if you own them and you're not bullish in the AI market, you're gonna get weak-handed. The next story of AI infrastructure bubble happening or AI infrastructure not being as strong or GPU depreciation, any scary nonsense like that will make you flip over and you're gonna end up with losses. If you're investing in, or I think companies like Oracle, like Coreweave, like Iron, like Nebius, they're not for the weak-minded. They're not the weak-minded. They're not for the ones that don't have the true belief in the AI space. And that's okay, right? You can believe AI is a complete made up religion or something, whatever. You can believe AI is not really a thing. But if you do, then I think investing in companies like Oracle would be a bad time because any type of negative news would create more doubt for you and you will most likely sell. Now, to own companies like Oracle, you have to invest, you have to believe in AI infrastructure story. Obviously, Oracle has a lot of debt, but they did announce that they are going to be raising cash through a mixture of equity issuance and debt. The market liked that a lot, and I even heard they're kind of like credit debit swaps drop down a nice amount because now the market believes that they do have the positions to survive, right? The positions to be able to survive for multiple years with that investment now, or with that racing. Now, the thing that sucks is it would have been smarter if they would have done a lot more selling of shares in September, right? Or where the stock was at 280 instead of levels right now. But Oracle has a strong data platform, which is crucial for AI, and then they have a strong AI infrastructure. So the AI infrastructure could be a sell on, right? Their AI infrastructure might not be good margins for them, but then they can sell on their data solutions, which tend to have a great margins. So that's a big win for Oracle. Personally, right now, I am more of a CoreWeave guy, and I've invested a lot in CoreWeave for me to be looking too much at other players, but Oracle here at 155, I don't know. I don't know. It made it up on the list. Um, Damn. Best of luck. I mean, to the 40K loss, PayPal. Um, I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's the thing with investment, right, Elizabeth? It's not always. It seems like other players did too. Um, it's not. And yeah, agree. Welcome to the game, new investor clap. New investors are always welcome. I think the biggest. This is where wealth is made. I do think in investing, wealth is made. It was made for me. I know Matt is another one that can vouch. Investment has been, it's where life changing money is made as a long term investor for me. But PayPal, I mean, it's not every stock is going to be a winner, right? Sometimes you got to take some of those losses and just take them in the chin and move on, right? Take them to the chin and move on. Um, let's see. Well, Hood, a short to 74 here. Is Hood down a lot? Is anybody buying Hood? 86. Wow. The overall market just sucks, eh? The market sucks right now. Let's just look at Palantir. I don't own much Palantir, but it's green. So let's keep it there. Let's add some excitement. Tesla's also green. I'm curious here for Tesla. Would love to hear your thoughts on this. So XAI, Elon just bought XAI with Tesla, right? They just bought some equity in XAI, and then XAI goes and becomes part of SpaceX. Does that automatically increase the valuation, or becomes part of SpaceX? Does that automatically increase the valuations of XAI dramatically? So that Elon just make a lot of money for Tesla doing this insider trading style thing? I don't know. I'm just wondering. I don't know if that's what happens, but like, shouldn't the valuation of XAI go increase with it? Um, it's just really funny, interesting. Now, the other thing that I find interesting with this, right? I We know that AI companies need funding to raise more and more cash. XAI being an independent firm, they were able to do a lot of funding and raise a lot of cash. But wouldn't it be harder to raise cash with XAI and X, right? I mean, now that's a massive company. How would you distribute how much cash you fund? Is it different now? I'm also thinking about it. How does that work with XAI? I mean, we see all these fundings happening. What happened to everybody that invested in XAI? Do they now own SpaceX too? Right. I mean, there are companies like Nvidia, I think, bought into XAI. I don't know how that whole private market works, but it's just. So you have newbies here. Maybe good. Share some of your stories in investing. What's your best investment and worst? My best investment is Nvidia, but in theory, my best investment has been being long-term bullish. Right, long-term bullish pays out. I think that's the biggest thing. My worst mistakes has been trying to make quick cash. Right. I luckily a lot of my worst mistakes happened when I had no money. But for me, right, like 10 years ago or 5 years ago, right, being down 20 grand 10 years ago would completely destroy me. Completely destroy me. It would feel like if I was losing millions of dollars. But I think that's good. It's good to learn then because you were always bullish. You should always be bullish on yourself long term because long term you expect to make more money and more on. So if you make a big mistake in your early 20s, it's okay, but learn from it, right? I think one of my biggest mistakes was really trying to make money with options at early age, and that blew up my account. Now, again, for me at that time, it felt like a lot of money. So I still remember that gut feeling of it. Um, but luckily, it's not the type of money we have now in the portfolio because now it's definitely life changing money. Um, so long-term investment has been the best opportunity, and that's where wealth is truly made. Short-term investment, especially exposed short-term investment, that's where things can go south pretty quickly. If you make mistakes in your 20, don't give up. Don't give up, though. I know I hear so many stories of people losing a few $100s in the market, and then they decide never to invest in the market again. Just learn from your mistakes. People make money out of this. Uh, and that lost all my money. We learn from it, right? We learn from it. It's a heavy class. I think so. I mean, I think more the excitement of GTC, if I may say, Palmer. Palmer is GTC. We're expected. mm, Nvidia talked a lot about Vera. If we hear a lot more about the CPU, how big is the CPU market going to be? Um, that could be bullish. A lot more updates on Vera would be bullish. I would love to hear more about the CPX. I think GTC could create a lot of excitement for the stock more than the actual earnings. Um, Damn. Could you take a look at Credo? I might do a video on this one, Jacob. All right. I don't it's been crushing quite a lot lately. Crushing the stock has been doing good, right? Strong revenue growth on Credo. Um in forms of earnings. The stock the past year still up 51%. Um Excitement of AI can definitely continue here though. Are you heavy in tech? Yes, Alex, I'm heavy. Pretty much all tech. But I think isn't everything all tech? What's going on with Nvidia? Is it a good time to buy now? And why is it dropping if both Jensen market is just crazy, right? I think the market just hates everything. All right, we have 8 minutes, guys. I want to do kind of like a free fire or rapid fire, not a free fire. I want to do a rapid fire. So if I missed all your questions, re-ask them right now. I try to answer as much as possible, and let's go as quickly as possible. So, Chris, sound advice. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I mean, it sounds like typical advice, but those two advices I think is all you need. Long-term invest and don't chase a quick buck. Thoughts on OXX next 10 bagger or not? Opportunity. There is opportunity. That's what 10 baggers are. 10 baggers are companies that have high risk and high growth opportunity. OSS, $230 million market cap. They are expected in edge computing for markets that are very ruggedized and you need some unique solutions. They provide there for the military space. Military is seeing AI growth, but obviously 230 million, extremely volatile. The market in the government space is also very contractual. AI might not be as quickly in the contract market as it might be in some other markets. So expect value, expect volatility and a lot of it. 10 background, it does have a potential. It does have a potential. Let's see, what else do we go? SpaceX, Kathy Woods, ETF RX. We have Kutsuma. That's crazy. I had 800. Now you're back to over 100K. That's amazing. Amazing, right? You're seeing that growth. I wasn't lucky enough to start investing at the beginning of 2025, but I could imagine how tough it would start investing. It's Edwin. I mean, the great thing is every era has some form of cycle. 2015 was amazing. 2018 was amazing. There's something always happening to the market. There's always some form of growth. Even if you miss some of the best times, there's other best times. There's everybody says the train left for this company or for this business. Another train. There's so many trains that are just passing by back and forth, back and forth. Maybe you just have to be a little bit patient, but your time will come. The first loss hurts, but learned, and now extremely glad I continue investing. A great thank you. I lost everything on AMD options in 2018. A lot of loss stories, but most of my net worth in AMD options in 2024, still plenty of time. Agreed, plenty of time. You make mistakes, step up, and just make sure you learn from it. What do you think about good old Intel? Intel, right? They do have that benefit from a lot of contracts with the government. I mean, a lot of investments. They have the investments with the United States. They're doing really well with 18A, right? Panther Lake is getting a lot of great reviews. They have the contract with Nvidia. They're going to be selling and buying a lot of, so they're going to be creating some unique stuff with Nvidia. So that's beneficial. Opportunity here, especially if they announce some big 14A winners within the next few quarters. I think this stock can continue to go higher. I'm not chasing. I'm not buying. Everything is computer. Everything is a computer. I agree. Fire, fire, fire. All right. Make sure to grab some Meta here. Meta, not a bad buy. I think I'm happy with Mark. I enjoy Microsoft and Amazon over Meta right now. You call me on a day when the market is down. Thanks, bro. No problem. I mean, long-term investing is all, again, I see Nvidia down 2.8%, Microsoft down 2.6%. The only thing I'm saying is I wish I had a little bit more cash right now. Rubric, good sir. I don't own this market. I really don't. I think this is in the cybersecurity space. Cybersecurity I think is crazy hard to understand. Maybe I would go an ETF approach. I don't know this one. Thanks for the streams and constant up to date videos and info. Matt, appreciate the constant support, Matt. A lot of the people here, I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Just accumulate some BBI. Don't rush. It should be making a lot better moves soon. Golden Doom, US. Another one I don't follow too much. I said Big Bear AI. Is it Big Bear AI? No, it's not Big Bear AI. What is it? Is it Big Bear AI? Big Brother AI? No, I forget. Um, is it Big Bear? No, but okay. I always freak when I see Nvidia watch until I watch your videos. Hopefully, I can provide some info. Helps me a lot. Long-term expectations on air test system. They provide burn-in test. We continue to see massive growth in wafer fabrication equipment. You also want to see improvements in yields. I do believe air test with the kind of management and stress test, you do provide yield improvements, which can save companies a lot of times. We see capex increase by companies like TSM, Intel, and all these other players. A lot of other people manufacturing as well. They're entering into the AI processors, less than $1 billion market cap, so there is risk, but I do enjoy the risk. I do like the growth opportunity. So long term, I still believe Airtest is a multi-bagger opportunity, but it's one that I would be quite, I would be safe on how much I allocate, right? Because it is risky and volatile. What do you expect from AMT? I expect $10 billion in revenue, right? $10 billion from revenue is what I'm expecting at least. And a sequential, I'm actually expecting a sequential growth in quarter as well, where the market is expecting a decline in growth sequentially. Again, I could be wrong. I don't care. I don't really care much about those if I'm right there. Long-term story, I want to hear about the MI 450. Is that on track? And is my long-term thesis still pretty much intact? Long-term expectations, I kind of talked about that one. Bought Palantir very long time ago and sold yesterday for great gains. Ciao, congratulations. Congratulations on those gains. Simon, what's going on, Simon? How's it going? Simon is an amazing supporter of the community, provides a lot of alpha, in my opinion, in the What the Chip Happen community, and is a strong supporter. So just wanted to shout him out. Jeff, it's one of those days where I just want to lose it all and never invest again. Why would you do that, Jeff? What do you mean? Were you just what? No, it's not, right? Days like this are fine. You're gonna be okay. Don't worry. You're gonna have your moment. Everybody has their moment. Low on cash and my high conviction names have been getting killed and tempted to selling max sevens for more cash. Thoughts? That's an interesting thesis, right? That's what I tend to do, right? Especially when I feel I'm under invested in high growth names. Now, Ethan, I'm actually a little bit opposite where I feel like I'm very invested in high growth names. So I tend to look for more comfort in Max 7. So I think it's all about portfolio allocation. That's not a bad idea. I tend to do that. I tend to invest in ETFs. And when maybe some of my high beta names are down, I would sell my ETFs, which are lower beta, to kind of use as cash opportunities. But remember, when you do stuff like that, you're increasing your high beta in your portfolio, so your high beta is going to create more volatility. Are you prepared for more volatility? Something is always growing. It's just important to catch it. Agree. Private money is bullish on AI. 100%. I'm bullish on AI, but I'm not holding $21 billion or so, or 211 billion. Is there a chance Nvidia is going down? It would have to be a black swan event or some random news that the market doesn't understand, like DeepSeek. Thank you for the videos. When I see Nvidia down, I freak out. What's going on, Big Bug? Big Bug dropping to say hi. Oh man, I trying to answer as much before we have to go. Long-term expectations, I talked that about already. Jose, the more frequent Q&As are great. I appreciate it. Great analysis. Appreciate it from Rubric. Neocatch has some good stuff. Definitely check them out if you want to learn more about Rubric. Microsoft or Nvidia today. I don't have much cash, but I wouldn't be mad buying both, right, Elizabeth? I wouldn't be mad. Just because I have more Nvidia, I would be focusing more on Microsoft, but I think both look great. What's going on, George? What's up, George? It's Big Bear. It is Big Bear. A Big Brother AI. Okay, I was wrong. I may live to regret selling Intel at 38. They are making some moves low high. They're also making a memory market, right? Pretty close. Hey, Jose, you're covering AMT live. I am. I don't know. Amit hasn't texted me. I don't know if he wants me on his earnings for live stream for AMT. If not, I will be doing it solo. One day you should make a live, just talk about your journey. I don't think many people would want to see that, right? But feel free to ever ask. Feel free to ever question. Best day ever to invest, guys. Buy long-term holds. Big Brother AI creator. What the chip happened? What the chip happened? Agree. Make sure to check out whatthechipHappened.com. Use code 2026 for 33% off. Jose, you hold 3 for the next 5 years. What are they? Um, Nvidia for sure. Max 7 ETF for sure. And AMD. I think those would be my 3. I would like a Max 7 ETF. All right, guys, that's it. I will be doing an earnings live stream, right? I don't know if it will be solo or if it will be with Amit. So I have to, he didn't respond to me. I don't know. You guys should tell him if you guys go over to him during AMD's earnings, be like, what's happened to Jose? You don't want him? He's not cool enough. Make sure that he invites me. All right. If not, I don't mind doing it live. Rose Neo's doing it. Well, I'm pretty sure if I'm doing it with Amit, I'll just get Amit to also get Neo, right? I bring the team with me, right? I bring the team with me. All right, guys, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't, please hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. I'll be on tomorrow. So we can I'll be on tonight and I'll be on tomorrow. And I'll definitely be doing a video tonight as well. So catch you all later. Time to do the ending of this stream with this little jingle. All right, that's going to be my new jingle. All right, catch you later. Bye.